With the unexpected turn of events, Sumin pushes Minhwan. His head hits the glass table that ends his life in no time. Then Sumin escapes. At this time, Yora is being interrogated by a prosecutor, but she keeps her secretary arrives with a lawyer and she's out in no time. Just as she thinks she already cleared her name, she sees Ji-hyuk's grandfather waiting in a car. He tells her that she's crossed the line and should resign and go volunteer in Africa. Yora insists that she's done nothing wrong and leaves, only to find Ji-hyuk in front of her. He tells her she shouldn't have touched Ji-won. She shouts that she didn't do anything wrong and he doesn't have evidences to accuse her like that. To her surprise, Mansik and Wisuk step out of the car. They are now the star witnesses against her. Turns out, Ji-hyuk saved them when they're about to die in the truck. However, they're also arrested for attempted murder. At the hospital, Joran wakes up to see her loved ones around her, including her friends, and is grateful about her new life. At the office, Eunho asks Hyun why she didn't see her the previous days in the office. He rambles about baking cakes for her until she puts her hand on his and admits that she likes him. Meanwhile, at dinner, Ji-won joins Ji-hyuk's family. His grandpa warns Ji-won that it won't be easy to be married to UK's successor. She smiles and says she'll try her best, and if it didn't work, she will still try harder. The next day, Ji-won's friends spend dinner at her house, including Mr. Lee. Ji-won is happy as her friends went home in pairs. But just as the lightning and thunders started to ramble, and before the skies pour out the rain, someone rings the doorbell, but Ji-won can't see anyone outside. Before she can close the door, Sumin steps out of the shadows and hits Ji-won with a taser. Minutes after, Ji-won wakes up with her hands tied and sees Sumin pouring gasoline everywhere. Sumin says nothing can be done now, while accusing Ji-won of only thinking of herself. Ji-won already expected this, then Ji-won tells her about Minhwan's death. Sumin claims that she'll get away with it, adding she has one. Surprisingly, Ji-won stands and in one swipe, she breaks off the zip ties around her hands. Then she flips Sumin on the ground. Ji-won tells her to face the consequences of her actions and reveals that all of her actions are being recorded, pointing to a camera above them. Afterwards, Ji-hyuk enters the apartment with policemen who take her away. At Ji-hyuk's, while Ji-won is with him. He tells her she's done nothing wrong. She just took what is rightfully hers. Then he added that she must do it better with him. Just like kissing him and everything that makes him happy. Meanwhile, Yora seemed to be scared now that Hwizik and Mansik are still alive. Upon learning that she's given a travel ban by the prosecutor, she fires her secretary and drives off. She speeds along the streets attempting to escape. In the morning, just as Ji-hyuk and Ji-won are wondering why Ji-hyuk's tattoo is gone, the news came out that Yora died in a car accident. At court, Mr. Lee and Joran celebrate winning her divorce case. She promises to buy him a meal, but they end up celebrating at Eunho's new restaurant by buying the most expensive dish. To celebrate the new season, Ji-hyuk is busy stuffing a turkey when he starts talking about having kids and planning about their names. Ji-won says we don't know yet. She seems unsure about it, so he gets close to her, kiss her saying we do this, carries her saying we do that, then he asks her, you still don't know what will happen next? Then he brought her to the room saying, shall I teach you? The next day, it seems the office is now calming as Mr. Kim apologizes to Ji-won for his previous behavior and Ji-won accepted it. Afterwards, Ji-hyuk gets pork gukbap for Ji-won. Turns out, Ji-hyuk had them open a branch in Seoul so Ji-won can eat there anytime she wants. Then Ji-won takes him to the park where they had first met and sleep. During their college days, surprisingly, she asks Ji-hyuk saying, will you marry me? He seems upset and walk away, but he returns with a bouquet of flowers. He gets on one knee and proposes, and she says yes. Right there and then, they sealed it with a kiss. Sumin, who is now in prison, is still behaving like a victim. Just like before, she talks to others about Ji-won, accusing her of being delusional. One day she's told she has a visitor and it's Minhwan. He tells her about a 1 billion insurance payment for his death and tells her to give it to Ji-won. But it seems she's having delusions. She keeps screaming as if she's already losing her mind. At the hotel, Ji-won is all decked up in white while walking down the aisle with Ji-hyuk, her happy ending. Everyone cheers them as they exchange rings. The three girls who bullied her are also present. They assure Eun-ho that they paid a lot for the wedding gift. When Ji-won throws the flowers, Hee-yeon catches it and promptly hands it to Eun-ho. After their marriage, Ji-won becomes the director of a new UK foundation called Second Chance. It's because Ji-won always believed in second chance. The following year, they have twins. They take good care of them until they become boys. They teach them about life and it makes them happy. Soon after have one more child. It's April 12, 2023, and the kids are with Hee-yeon and her grandpa. It's the same date Ji-won had died on in her previous life. They go to see a painting of cherry blossoms. Ji-hyuk holds Ji-won's hand and thanks her for showing up to him during that day. Then with tears in her eyes, Ji-won also thanks him for showing her that there's still hope for tomorrow. As she looks at the blooming trees, she smiles and says, "I'm so happy." Then they live happily as a family. May you have a happy family too. God bless and mabuhay.